And good morning, high school football fans. Welcome into the high school sports roundup here on ESPN Radio Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, ESPNCoastal.com. PJ Zuko here with you this morning. It's all presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet, so certainly appreciate them and their sponsorship here this morning as we get recapped and all rounded up for high school football. Man, it's back. 2021 has started on the high school football field, and we're not only talking about projecting into games and projecting into the season and things like that anymore. We have live games to talk about, results to talk about here this morning, and certainly pumped and excited about that. Week 0, week 1, whatever you want to call it, all done with for those Friday night games. But the great thing about it, also looking forward to some weekend games, some continuations due to weather last night, and of course the Eric Russell Classic, which involves Wayne County and Statesboro. But one thing that, I talked a lot about on Thursday with High School First Look, and going to talk about this morning as well, is the fact that, listen, we had 9 games there scheduled last night, or 9 teams scheduled to play in the coastal Georgia and Okefenokee area from Friday and Saturday, and we haven't had one canceled due to contact tracing or anything like that. So just think about where we were a year ago and where we are now. Certainly have taken some big steps forward. Again, keep reminding, I know we're in a little bit of a blip right now, a little bit of blip upward when you talk about case numbers and things like that. But hopefully we'll be on the other side of that soon. But the big scheme of things, in the big story of things, I mean, it's August 21st, it's week 0, and we're talking about high school football being played, where last year we were talking about questions about whether the season would start, when it would start, how many games we would get in, everything like that. So just want to take a moment and think about that this morning, reflect on that a little bit, that, hey, we have scores to talk about, and not one of these games got canceled. Yeah, one did get postponed, but that was due to weather. And we'll look forward to that one finishing later. But for sure, excited to just have that this morning and be talking some high school football. But with that, let's get into the roundup. Let's talk about these scores and how these games went last night. In Glenn County Stadium there, Brunswick High, the Pirates got off to a 1-0 start in their 2021 season. The Pirates beat Pierce County 20-13, and that after getting up 20-0 there in the second half for the Pirates. Strong showing for Brunswick High and Sean Pender and their Pirates there last night. An interesting game last night up Highway 17 a little bit in McIntosh County Academy, as the Red Terrors and the Buccaneers tie 14-14 there at the end of regulation, and a defensive kind of stalemate back and forth all night. McIntosh County Academy started with the lead. Glen Academy gets up to a 14-6 lead there midway through the game, and McIntosh County Academy able to battle back throughout there in the second half, late in the fourth quarter, able to get in the end zone. We'll talk about that here in a second. And an interesting way that game ended. Looked like Glen Academy was going to be able to pull out the win. Again, we'll talk about that more here in just a second, but it ends up ending in a tie to start the McIntosh County Academy and Glen Academy 2021 season. Camden County routes Columbia there last night, and Jeff Herron's return to the Camden County Wildcats, and a 31-0 victory there over Columbia, and just absolutely rolling to start the year for Camden County. And I mean, it just seemed like it was kind of destined to happen, right? Jeff Herron comes back to Camden County. Saw him at media days, 912 Sports media days there a few weeks ago, and he was in mid-season form with the things that he was talking about, and talking about the schedule and how tough it was, but what his football team looked like as well. And I remember him saying also, listen, it doesn't matter what I did in the past at Camden County. It matters what we do now. Right now is the only thing that matters. And guess what? They started out 1-0 here in 2021 and looking really good there last night. Ware County, huge win over Cook. They get the route over Cook last night. That one 52-7 with Ware County just lighting up the scoreboard. Thomas Castellanos and The Ware County Gators having a really solid game there last night, getting the win over Cook. Now, as I mentioned, was a game postponed in our area. That one, Brantley County and Charlton County. Brantley County was up 7-6 in that one before the weather, the lightning, and all that got to it. And sadly, that one pushed back. Believe they're going to finish that one today. So be looking out for that. Brantley County and Charlton County finishing up later today. And of course, Wayne County and Statesboro tonight doing battle in Paulson Stadium there on the campus of Georgia Southern. That one later tonight after the Clinch County game at about 9 o'clock. So we're looking at about an 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock kickoff there for Wayne County and Statesboro from Paulson Stadium. So certainly looking forward to that, and can't wait to see how that one goes. But as we mentioned, some interesting games here in the coastal Georgia area to start off the year. Let's start off talking about that Glenn Academy matchup with McIntosh County Academy, as it looked like the Red Terrors had the game kind of in hand a few times there. Got to give kudos to McIntosh County Academy in that late big drive they were able to put together to get in the end zone there late in that ball game. Glenn Academy leading 14-6 there late in the game. McIntosh County Academy running that wing T offense too. 2 minutes and 25 seconds left there in the ball game, down 8 and able to come back and tie it. There, a huge 60-yard completion from Will Fillmore last night to Monte Morris there on 3rd and 10 out of the wing T set. So a big completion there and huge catch and run by Monte Morris. Fillmore again comes back, 16-yard touchdown pass to Jarese Campbell a few seconds after that, in the 2-point conversion from Will Jones there to end up tying the game. Now, Glenn Academy did have about a minute left in that one to try and come back and put the minute offense together to come back and score and win that game. And it looked like they were doing exactly that. Huge play from Tyler Devlin to John Moody. Also a 20-yard connection from Devlin to David Prince, and a face mask penalty tacked on to that to get Glenn Academy into McIntosh County Academy territory. John Moody, several run plays to get all the way down to the 5-yard line there for the Red Terrors. But at the end of the day, you set up for the game-winning field goal there and have a solid kicker there in Sasser with Glenn Academy, and was ready to put it through the uprights, but just a muff snap, muffed in the holder's hands, and McIntosh County Academy was able to fall on it there and end the game. So a non-region matchup ended up ending in a tie there. Had the chance to win that one. Special teams just not able to come through, and at the end of the day, was still a 14-14 game. And at the end of the day, several chances for both teams to go out there and win. McIntosh County Academy had their situation in front of them with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left, able to put a really solid drive together. And Glenn Academy really able to do the same exact thing. Just one play can kind of change everything. And, it's a collection of plays for sure. Don't want to put it all on one thing, but you have a short field goal to go in and win the game. You'd expect that one to come through. Just got to be able to execute, and not able to do that last night. But at the end of the day, both teams, I'm saying at the end of the day a lot. I realize that. I'm going to stop. But anyway, McIntosh County Academy and Glenn Academy come away with the tie there after the muff snap, and McIntosh County Academy able to fall on it. I'm going to hear from Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glenn Academy Red Terrors, later in the show. Talk with him about his team, what they look to improve on moving forward. And of course, a big drive from them. Again, big drive from them late in the game. You'd like to see it executed all the way through. Huge showing by McIntosh County Academy, though, as well. And the ball control of that offense with the wing T really, really helping out there last night. And defensively, I mean, Glenn Academy has so much talent on the offensive side of the ball. And McIntosh County Academy really able to apply pressure last night in the run game and in the passing game there with their run defense and passing defense. So certainly kudos to them for doing that as well, playing really well is McIntosh County Academy. I said on Thursday, I mean, Bradley Warren has these guys playing extremely well, and this program turned around in the right direction, I think. So going to get better and better, I believe, are the Buccaneers as the season goes on. And certainly a team that people are going to have to be looking out for in that single A public classification. But as for Brunswick High as well, they get the victory there over Pierce County 20-13. Again, this was a 20-0 game there in the second half. And an interesting second half as well. Saw the running clock the whole way through the second half, and actually had a conversation at halftime between the coaches and the officials, and Pierce County just banged up. Quite frankly, that's just how it was. Banged up coming into the game, banged up during the game with a few defensive players going down, and the coaches having that discussion and saying basically, all right, let's continue the game, let's finish this thing out, but understanding Pierce County's, worried thoughts about their players and just their depth with some injuries there last night, shortening up the game a little bit. Well, not shortening it up, but having that running clock, shortening it up in that way. But still, Pierce County able to put down put a couple drives together, put a couple scoring drives together to finish off the game. One aided a little bit by a Brunswick High special teams error there as well. But for all in all, Pirates playing pretty well there last night, and obviously able to get the victory over the defending state champion in 3A. Had to play well, and they certainly did, especially defensively, getting after Pierce County pretty much all night. An attempted fake punt by Pierce early set up Brunswick High with good field position, so good special teams play there. 15-yard touchdown run ensuing off of that from Jaden Drayton there for the Brunswick High Pirates to go up 6-0. Following possession, a big forced fumble by River Creel and recovered by Zion Turner there for Brunswick High. Following that, pinned Pierce County deep inside their 5-yard line with a punt. Navarius Williams comes back for Brunswick High on the ensuing possession for the Pirates and rushes in for the 3-yard touchdown run, going up 13-0. And then, of course, in the second half, Leon Charlton making his presence felt, one of that 3-4 headed monster at running back for the Brunswick High Pirates. 62-yard touchdown run there from Charlton to put the Pirates up 20-0. But again, Pierce County comes back, 80-yard touchdown drive late in the ball game to get their first score, and a botched play a little bit by the special teams for Brunswick High. A punter had to fall on the ball there at the 5-yard line, giving Pierce County a 5-yard touchdown drive following that. So a bit of a botched snap there from the special teams, and we'll certainly talk to Sean Pender about the great and the tough things from last night. There's plenty of very good things to talk about with this Pirates team after a 1-0 start. A few things that I'm sure he's going to want to improve, though, as well as every coach does. So we'll chat with him about that in just a few minutes. But all in all, for most of the night, Brunswick High playing really well, especially on defense. 85 of the 153 yards by Pierce County came on the last two possessions. So defensively playing really well for most of the game. And Brunswick High, you look on the ensuing side of the other side of the ball for Brunswick offensively, 168 rushing yards on the night. I know the passing game wasn't as balanced as Coach Pender would like to see. We'll talk to him about that in a second once again. But the running game with the 4 or 5 guys that Brunswick High has in that stable to run the football and stay fresh. They were certainly all about it last night and doing a great job once again with 168 yards on the ground and the big touchdowns there from Brunswick High as well, with 3 different rushing touchdowns, 3 from 3 different players there for the Pirates. So they certainly, Coach Pender was excited about the depth and about all the different guys he could utilize on the offense. And you saw that last night with 3 different touchdowns from 3 different guys. And hey, Rodney Johnson, Coffee Trojans in the building this morning as well. So certainly appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in there, Rodney. But we'll come back. Again, Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, will join us here on the High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet here on ESPN Radio Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, and ESPNCoastal.com. And welcome back to the High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee. PJ Zuko here with you this morning as we go over everything from last night in high school football. Brunswick High with the 20-13 victory over Pierce County. It was Glenn Academy and McIntosh County Academy ending in a tie there last night, 14-14. Camden County defeating Columbia there last night, 31-0. It was Ware over Cook, 52-7. Brantley County and Charlton County, that one postponed due to weather. Brantley County with the 7-6 lead there with the postponement. And later tonight as well, Irk Russell Classic, Wayne County taking on Statesboro. That one in Paulson Stadium on the campus of Georgia Southern. And we'll see how that one goes later tonight between the Yellow Jackets of Wayne County and Statesboro. But Brunswick High able to get the victory over Pierce County last night, 22-13. Joining us now, the head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates here on the High School Sports Roundup presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet, Coach Sean Pender. Coach Pender, how you doing this morning? Great to have you on.
Oh, it's good to be on. It's always good to be on after a win. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it makes waking up a little bit easier and whatnot, and picking up the phone, no doubt about it, Coach. But yeah, after a solid win there last night as well, you guys, the Pirates able to get up 20-0 and hold on, win that one 20-13 there over Pierce County, and a really good showing, Coach. But from the Pirates, especially from the running game and most of the game from your defense.
Yeah, for the most part, it was just the running game was working. The outside run was working in particular. We struggled a little bit throwing the football, but we really didn't attempt it much. I think we only had like 4 attempts all night. It's probably a career low of attempts if you look at it if you look at things that we've done. But we ran the football well on the outside, and we did it with a bunch of different backs, so it wasn't the same in one. So it was a group effort, and defensively, yeah, we played real well. For the most part, we just had, right there in the fourth quarter, we just had a lapse on 4th down, and then they ended up scoring a late touchdown, and then, the punter the long snapper snaps over our punter's head and sets up the score on the last play of the game to make it a lot closer ball game than it was.
Right, Coach, for sure. And you talk about it there, special teams, kind of a tale of 2 different things there. I know attempted fake punt by Pierce County you guys end up stopping that, sets you up with good field position, which you then end up turning around and pinning Pierce County deep, which sets up a good scoring drive for you guys on the next time. So some good highlights from your special teams play, and then late last night with that snap as well, kind of brings it down a little bit, but up and down night from special teams, but still a pretty solid showing.
Yeah, for the most part it was. Again, I mean, at the end of the game, got hot and a little frustrated about how we just didn't finish the game out the way we wanted to. But for the majority of the night, we had control of it, did real well. We gotta put a nail in a coffin, especially when you're going against a championship team like Pierce County, who's come from behind and had victories right at the last minute numerous times. Even when I was the head coach there, one time we were down 3 scores with 2 minutes left in the ball game, turned around and ended up winning the thing. Got in overtime, tied it up, got in overtime, and then won it in overtime. So, I was kind of reliving those moments right there.
Right, Coach. Yeah, for sure. I was talking to Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, here on the High School Sports Roundup. They get the victory over Pierce County last night, 20-0. And yeah, Coach, you mentioned, I know a bunch of different players on this offense and a bunch of different skill position guys that can take it the length of the way each time they get the ball. But I mean, last year we were calling it a 3-headed monster there at the running back spot and being able to rush the football. Last night we saw 3 different touchdowns from 3 different players, and they weren't just those running backs that we talked about last year. I mean, you guys really able to spread the ball around to a lot of different guys who make some big plays.
Yeah, we did. It was, Jaden Drayton's a special player, and, we had a certain package for him, and he's got really good speed on the outside. Just gives us another threat there, and he was able to take one around the edge for a touchdown. And then Navarius Williams, he did the same thing on an end around and scored a touchdown. And then Leon Charlton, he was part of that 3-headed monster. He broke a long 58-yard touchdown run. So it was a big night. Jacoby came back. He he was healthy, so he didn't get to play in the scrimmage game. So he got a few carries, and he averaged, I want to say, around 7 yards a carry last night. He just didn't get in the end zone, but he had some really good runs.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach, as you mentioned, low passing attempts there on the night. Was that a product of just taking what the defense was giving you guys, or what was it more? Was it something else there on the evening?
Well, that too. I mean, we had a plan to run the ball on them, and Pierce County, what they were doing was they were really pinching down hard and taking the inside run game away, and then leaving guys in zone space. But in every situation, you can't defend the whole field. So when you're trying to defend deep, and then you're taking away the inside pinch, they were giving us the outside edge. We were taking advantage of that with our run game that was working, so we stuck with it. The passing wise, I mean, we started off kind of slow. We had a waggle that we had a wide open receiver, and it hit him. He dropped the ball, and if you don't drop the ball, he's probably still running. And then we had another situation where we had a post wide open, and we missed an assignment, and we ended up getting sacked, and then we threw a screen and missed a block and only get 5 yards, and that could have been a big play. And then we had another route where we just missed an open receiver. It's just we just didn't execute well in the passing game. It's not that we're not able to pass it. We just didn't execute well when we were trying to do it. And it is what it is. Sometimes those nights happen.
Yeah, like you said, sometimes that's just how it works out. But able to run the football really well there offensively and control the game that way for the Brunswick High Pirates, getting up to 20 to nothing there in the second half. And Coach, for the most part, defensively, really able to lock down Pierce County pretty much all night. What were you impressed with by the way your defense was able to go out there and play?
Well, Pierce County they wanted to shorten the game, and that's a whole nother story in itself, the way the game was short. It was the fastest game probably in the history of high school football. I don't know. It just seemed that way. But they, from the very beginning, they tried to eat the entire clock. They basically played like a wildcat sets the whole night and just like caught the ball and just tried to power run. And doing that, it forced our defense to come down and try to get in the box and try to match their numbers. And they kind of outnumbered us, but we were still able to get off box and make plays. It took a minute to adjust to it. And then, for the most part, we did well. It's just we had one little lapse that at the end of the game where was frustrated. When it looked like the game was over, it was a 4th and 4. They went for it, got the first down, and then the very next play they broke a long touchdown run, and that was just because we didn't finish. Besides that, I was very pleased with the way our defense played. They threw the ball a couple of times, and every time they threw it was incomplete. Didn't get anything in the air, and then running the football. We tagged off on them pretty good. We were very, very physical, and that's part of the reason why when it was only 13-0 at halftime, we had a running clock the whole second half. Is Pierce was banged up really, really bad, and it was it was a lot of physical play. Nothing dirt, a physical ball game, and Pierce was down a few players, and they were concerned for the safety of the team. And if we didn't have a running clock in the second half, we would have they wouldn't have finished the ball game. So we wanted to try to at least get the ball game finished, and that's how that all transpired with the running clock.
Yeah, absolutely, and answer my question right there. Just wanted to follow up, and that saw reports of that for sure, and just wanted to make sure that was it there from last night. So Pierce County banged up a little bit going with that running clock there in the second half. Still, Brunswick High able to have a really solid night all around, running the football, 3 different rushing touchdowns from 3 different guys, and defensively playing well almost all night there for the Brunswick High Pirates, and a really solid game, able to get that victory over Pierce County 20-13 there to start off the season 1-0, Coach. And you get that momentum from playing well and getting that victory. Now you move on into week 2 here. Or if you look at the schedule, you go by what everyone says, week 1, whatever. But you look forward to another big game here next week. What do you need to see from your team this week as you move forward and look forward to another opponent?
Well, we're going to have to, get better. all the way around. I mean, the we got to clean up some mistakes. Of course, the special teams mistakes we made. We had we had a couple on the kickoff team as well. You know, we had some mistakes there. We had to clean that up. We had some fumbles, like a fumble snap. We have to clean that up. Just we got to get better. I think a lot of teams you see always get better between week 1 and week 2, especially the good football teams. We have to do that, and then be ready to go play against a fired up McIntosh team. They win against Glenn on Friday night, and they tied them up, and they played really well. They're playing with a lot of heart. They're a good football team this year, and we have to be ready, and we have to be ready for a similar game plan to what Pierce did against us. They're going to line up and play smash mouth. They're going to try to shorten the game just like Pierce did, and we have to make the adjustments we need to make to be able to not allow that to happen.
All right, Coach, absolutely. Like you said, McIntosh County Academy taking on Brunswick High there next week, and running that wing tee. And Bradley Warren has the Buccaneers certainly playing well since taking back over as the head coach there for McIntosh County Academy. But the Brunswick High Pirates able to get the victory last night over Pierce County, 20-13. And Sean Pender, the head coach of those Pirates, joining us here on the High School Sports Roundup. Coach, once again, always appreciate you coming on. Congrats on the win and starting off 1-0. Here in 2021, and best of luck as we move forward here in week 2.
All right, thank you. It's always good being on, BJ. Take care.
Hey, thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, here with us on the High School Sports Roundup. So, yeah, good start to the season for Brunswick High. Heard confirmation there. That's exactly what it was there in the second half for Pierce County. Just a banged up football team right now. A couple more guys injured there in that one against Brunswick High. Just wanted to get out of there safely, honestly, without any more injuries or anything like that. You certainly understand that. Go with the running clock in the second half. Really put together a couple of solid drives. The solid 85-yard touchdown drive for Pierce County late in the ball game, and then able to capitalize on some really good field position for the second score. But Brunswick High, they're going to be a problem, and if they can square away those things moving forward, they're going to be a problem for a lot of people, especially there in that 6A classification. And I mean, at the end of the day, you need to be playing well every single week when you're taking on Glen Academy, Richmond Hill, South Effingham getting better, Effingham up there as well. So some good football teams in that region. Brunswick High comes out with the 1-0 start to the season here to start 2021. Looking forward to McIntosh County Academy next week. And man, you talk about all the different guys they can have running the football for the Pirates. You're really got to prepare for all of them as well, and then some that you haven't seen yet, because they're running the football and playing smash mouth football right now. We'll see if they spread it out and if they throw the ball around a little bit more. But obviously, taking what the defense was able to give them there last night and was enough for that 20-13 victory over Pierce County. But we'll come back. An interesting one between McIntosh County Academy and Glen Academy last night, tied up at 14. And that's how it ended there in week 1 in that non-region matchup. We'll come back, hear from Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glen Academy Red Terrors, about that game and his team here to start 2021 here on the High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, ESPNCoastal.com. And welcome back to High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee. PJ Zuko here with you. It's all presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia. Looking at the roundup from last night, Brunswick High gets the victory over Pierce County 20-13. Glen Academy, McIntosh County Academy end in a tie there, 14-14, all locked up. Camden County defeats Columbia last night 31-0. It was Ware over Cook 52-7. Brantley County, Charlton County postponed due to weather. That one had the Herons leading 7-6 in that matchup. And Wayne County and Statesboro taking on playing tonight there at Georgia Southern in Paulson Stadium in the second half of the Irk Russell Classic. So be sure to look out for that one as well. But as we said, McIntosh County Academy, Glen Academy, ending in a tie there last night, 14-14. And joining us now to chat with us about his team, that game there at McIntosh County Academy last night is Glen Academy head coach Rocky Hidalgo. Coach Hidalgo, how you doing this morning?
I'm okay, man.
Well, Coach, good to hear. Glad to have you on the show here this morning. And yeah, I know an interesting one there last night. No low scoring there from both teams, and had the lead 14-6. McIntosh County Academy able to come back and tie it up. The Red Terrors have a chance to win there with a field goal and a bit of a botched snap, but or handle there on the hands team for going for the game-winning field goal. But Coach, tough one back and forth. I know ending in a tie there with non-region play, so an interesting one to start the season with.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. Knew that coming in. We only returned like 3 starters. We didn't block very well on the offensive line. I think we got frustrated and confused and struggled to run the ball. Probably should have thrown the ball 50 times down the field and let the receivers make plays. To be honest with you, we tried to get in and we wanted to establish the run the second half, and it's too many run throughs. So, we got to go back, get to work. Coach Warren's kids, I mean, I'll give those guys credit. They played really hard. They, it didn't have anything to do with necessarily with them so much as we just got a lot of inexperienced, really green football team right now, and we got to do our job as coaches and go coach them and get them better.
Right, Coach, and I know I'm not able to kick through the game-winning field goal, but how impressed were you with the drive there by the offense there late in the game? As you said, had success, some success of passing the football, especially on that last drive.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. We did what we were supposed to. We should have done that early in the game. We got to play with a better sense of urgency throughout the game. I think we're giving up too many plays because we're just kind of being a little slack on how we're going about our business. But I think as coaches, we got to put our kids in a better situation to be successful as well. But, we did some good things. We did some bad things, probably more bad than good. And we have things to work on, things to fix.
Like you said, Coach, not a lot of guys coming back. And especially, I mean, you see that with the offensive line. We talk so much about how important they are to the ball game, but also how important it is to build that chemistry and continuity with each other, to know what each other's doing and know where everyone's at the same time, to be able to block well throughout the season.
Yeah, well, we've got to get more physical. We're pretty soft up front right now. That showed last night, and it's one of the things that I was concerned with when we went in the game was our ability to run the ball out of our base sets. And I addressed it with our offensive coaches earlier in the week that we probably need to get big sets to run the football. We kind of got into those a little bit late. But it is what it is, and we just got to move forward with it and hopefully fix it.
Right, Coach, talking to Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glen Academy Red Terrors here on the High School Sports Roundup. End up in a tie there last night between the Red Terrors and McIntosh County Academy. And Coach, how do you think? What do you think about your defense there last night, dealing with the wing T offense there of McIntosh County Academy? Obviously, they're trying to control the tempo a little bit more with that as well. But all in all, defensively, how do you feel like your team played?
We were missing 3 inside linebackers for various reasons, injury, COVID, just stuff, and in a safety. We struggled getting the call defensively, and we kind of slanted the wrong way and didn't get ourselves in line like we wanted to, and that was part of that was because just inexperience at the linebacker position. We had some guys that we weren't planning on playing in this game. We're playing in the game, and So it just kind of is what it is. But that's the nature of the beast nowadays when you're coaching high school football. I think we've got to play a little tougher on the defensive line. I don't think we helped ourselves some just in preparation for the game. I think we addressed that with the coaches last night after the game, but our kids played hard. We just have to do a better job of fitting on the football and playing good team defense.
Right, Coach, for sure. And you talk about, I mean, you mentioned that the guys playing hard, but you also mentioned the offensive line maybe being playing a little soft there last night. Needed to be a little bit more physical on defense. How do you combat that as a coach in practices moving forward to make those guys a little bit more physical and have them out there beating and banging and ready to go for next week?
No, that's what you got to do. I mean, you don't get hard nosed by being soft on them, and so we've got to go out there and be hard nosed at practice. And practice, you're going to play like you practice. And I think the last night was indicative of kind of how we practiced. I think our guys, we have some guys, there's nothing personal against those guys. We're just learning how to do those things. I mean, most of these guys were JV guys last year. So they're trying to learn the level of preparation they have to be successful on Friday night. We're not there yet.
Talking to Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glenn Academy Red Terrors. And Coach, finally getting into that. I mean, at the end of the day, we talk about it all the time. To gain experience, that's the only way you do it, is going out there and playing the games. At the end of the day, you want to be able to learn in wins. At the same time, I guess it wasn't a loss, coming home there with the tie in non-region play. But at the end of the day, it's all about preparing for those region games anyway. But just getting that experience invaluable to these guys moving forward, and just seeing those live game snaps is much, much different from just seeing practice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tie. They say a tie is like kissing your sister. Well, losing's like kissing your brother. So
yeah.
I guess it's better than losing. But we just got work to do. I knew it was going to, frankly, I went into the game last night. I knew it was going to be that type of game. I was concerned if we gave up big plays, we were going to lose the game on defense. We gave up we had a 15-yard personal foul on their first scoring drive on 4th and 12, and gave up, blew 2 coverages on the game tying drive last night. So, we got to fix those things. We got to get better. I don't think it's an issue with so much with our kids. It's really, we've got to do a better job coaching them.
Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glenn Academy Red Terrors, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup. Come home with a tie there last night against McIntosh County Academy, 14-14. And Coach Hidalgo, certainly appreciate you coming on the show here this morning, and can't wait to talk to you as the season goes on. Best of luck as you guys move forward.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach. Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Red Terrors, joining us here on the High School Sports Roundup. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, you never want to tie. You never want to lose either. So I guess at the end of the day, better than a loss. Not quite a win though. And so it's one of those things. But at the end of the day, you only have a few guys coming back on your whole roster. I mean, that's tough. You just got to gain that experience and move forward and get those live snaps. And I said it as well. I need to see that team. He said need to see the team play more physical, especially up front on that offensive line. You hear a coach here, anybody, you never want to hear them describe an offensive or defensive line as soft, and just said they played soft last night. So got to toughen up there in practice and in games moving forward. But Glenn Academy, I'm sure they will. They certainly get better and have seemed to, over the past few years, play their best ball when it comes to region play. And it seems like they're very good at improving as the season goes on. And we talk about it all the time. If you've listened to High School First Look or the High School Sports Roundup with Rocky Hidalgo and me chatting with him, it's all about those game snaps and all about that game experience. If that's the only way you get better. That's the only way you get better is getting into those games and learning what these guys are going to do on any given situation. So looking forward to seeing where Glenn Academy goes from this. Also, McIntosh County Academy. I mean, a solid showing from the Buccaneers there last night. Now, wing T offense able to really control the game with the rushing attack. go down with 2 minutes left in the 2-minute drill and score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion to tie it up, and then secure the game with on special teams with that fumble recovery. So solid showing by McIntosh County Academy defensively. Again, able to come in and show big pressure all night to that Glenn Academy front offensive line, and playing really well in the front seven for McIntosh County Academy. So looking forward to seeing where these Buccaneers can go moving forward as well, with Bradley Warren at the helm for the Pirates. But we'll come back, wrap it all up here on the High School Sports Roundup on ESPN Radio Coastal Georgia, the ESPN app, ESPNCoastal.com. It's all presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet. And welcome back. It's High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee. PJ Zuko here with you this morning. Let's go through the roundup one more time before we let you get to the rest of your Saturday. Brunswick High defeats Pierce County there last night, 22-13. It was Glen Academy tying McIntosh County Academy 14-14 there between the Red Terrors and the Buccaneers. Jeff Herron, head coach of the Camden County Wildcats, comes on back to Camden and gets his first win of 2021 and his second tenure with the Wildcats, 31-0 over Columbia, picking up where they left off there with Camden County and doing a really solid job getting off to that good start. Ware County, Thomas Castellanos and the Gators roll over Cook there last night, 52-7. It was Brantley County leading Charlton County 7-6 last night. Before that one got postponed due to weather, some lightning in the area. So Coastal Georgia this time of year, I mean, you're certainly going to have that. I'm sure that's not the first game that's going to be affected by weather here in 2021 in the area. So Brantley County, excuse me, leading that one over Charlton County right now, 7-6. Believe that one's going to get finished up later today. Wayne County, speaking of later today, Wayne County and Statesboro doing battle the second half of the Irk Russell Classic. Starting at about 9 p.m., have Clinch County in a game before that. So Wayne County and Statesboro doing battle at Paulson Stadium later tonight on the campus of Georgia Southern. Kickoff looking to be around 9 o'clock there. But thank you for joining us here on the High School Sports Roundup presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. throughout the football season. Normally we'll have Christian Gokel with me as well, and certainly can't wait for him to get back here with us as we talk to all these coaches and go through the 2021 season. High school football is back. Thanks for joining us here on the show. See you next week. Have a good one. God bless.